What's up, guys? It's Shani with Healing Elements. If you've never been to my channel before, welcome, and blessings, love, and light to everyone. This is just a really quick video for the full moon energy. We have a full moon on August the 3rd, and the full moon is in Aquarius. And we also, of course, sun is in Leo, so we have an intense one, as always, and predictably, probably throughout the next 3 years. Honestly, I want to say that this time of year will be very, very testing and trying for us, especially in this climate that we're dealing with everything COVID and you name it, all kind of different trials, tribulations, and just different tempo, different paradigm. We're definitely into, a new phase, a new level of ascension for sure. And you guys, this is just a pick, a number type of reading for the full moon, again, on August 3rd, but the energy for full moons always, can be very much felt and can affect things, anywhere from like a week before or a week after, sometimes, just a few days before. You'll just feel the buildup of this energy. It's, undeniable, and especially, again, during this time, I feel like right now it is very intense for a lot of people. A lot of people may be on the edge or, dealing with dark nights of the soul, that kind of thing. I've been through everything, you name it, for the past, 5 years intensely. And, just recently, everybody that I've been talking to, though, has validated that this is something that they're struggling with because of everything that we've faced since March and, the national and global stage and its effect with the COVID and shutdown. So everybody is feeling a little bit of sense of anxiety at the least, and somewhat depressive episodes, and or just really having a hard time processing all of, their spiritual awareness principles, just processing all of that to intermingle with what's going on in reality, and whether or not they're, going to still follow this path, of bringing out messages from the divine, or just messages to help people in general in some way or another to heal, their gift to heal. And a lot of people are doubting that. So I'm not too sure what is going to come on these messages, but I'll put timestamps, guys. If you pick number 1, 2, 3, or 4, these are all out of something I use and is kind of a favorite with my private clients. It's the message scrolls, are kind of like little almost fortune cookies. They definitely say random messages. I have hundreds of them, and I thought, you know what, I will put 4 together. There's 4 different messages in each pile, and do a pick a card reading. It was suggested to me by my Gita, and I love him. I tried one for the entire Leo season. If you want to check that out, I'll put the link below in the description box, and also the timestamps for number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So here we go with number 1, guys. Number 1. Okay, let's see what messages we have for those of you who picked number 1. Aimless, stuck in a rut. So are you guys feeling that, sort of procrastinating or stagnant, marinating energy? Because again, like I was really channeling for this reading in general for people in the full moon energy, but for those of you who picked pile number 1, perhaps this intensity again and all that has gone down, since March, or just in general right now, when we go through this massive global spiritual awakening, many more people are beginning to become self-aware of other things that are, not the force-fed programming that we've been, taught and raised to believe. But if you are feeling aimless or just stuck in a rut, just not knowing what direction to turn to next, that is something super common right now. You're not alone, and the best way to do it is like jump right in the cold water, right? Like jump in the deep end, dive in with the cold water on a cold day, and go forward, right? With a lot of energy, and accept the next invitation and enjoy. So if you're going to be invited to perhaps collaborate with somebody to, interview for a job that maybe wasn't your repertoire before this whole COVID thing happened. The full moon is electric. We have it in, Sun in Leo, which is abundance of, invitations and parties and joy and experiences and wanting to share the, heart space, that loving energy that is even connected or involved with, when people meet each other and they connect for job interviews or collaboration. This is, could be business, could be personal. If you are invited on a date, maybe, or, I don't know what your situation is, what city you're in, date with a mask or whatever is going on. Maybe a date on like a social networking site for dating. Just be aware that if you're stuck in a rut, maybe, and you haven't, maybe you're like self-isolating, maybe it's been very difficult for you, like just to have all this time on your hands and feel aimless. So maybe, you've denied or declined some invitations to, even hook up via Zoom, or like maybe you've declined invitations with even those that you're quarantined with in your household to go and do things, to get out the house. So I'm thinking this is a message from Spirit, for accepting the invitation. It's going to be really good for your soul, and you're going to be able to see the value that maybe you just forgot and just got stagnant and, just at home too long. Who knows? Don't fight your feelings. So this is all about what I spoke of on my Instagram the other day, and I made a post. It's about the classic, making friends with how we feel, because the more we fight our feelings and the more we fight our emotions that are held even deeply suppressed, the more that they will fester and the more that they will cause permanent damage or, blockages that are semi-permanent, because you can always work on your shadow. You can work on any kind of, traumas, and really bad traumas, I mean, that you've pushed down. You can work on them, and although it's going to hurt to, bring up those memories and the pain to the surface, the best thing to do is to, make friends with your feelings, whatever the emotion is. Make friends, I'm always saying, with the feeling and even the anxiety and depression at the time, and acknowledge it, embrace it, look at it, self-reflect on it, really account for anything that you feel bad about, right? And then honestly, it's letting it go, right? So don't fight your feelings. The more you do, like I know for myself, having anxiety attacks, right? Since my dad's death in 2011, and I've had to really work on it. That's why one of the reasons, many reasons, I got into yoga and just spiritual practices and mindfulness, right? I fought the anxiety, and the more I fought the anxiety, the more that it would increase and get worse and worse, because I was getting mad at myself for, feeling this way. I thought, no, you've never been anxious before. You're an assertive person, right? Before 2011, like I did not know what an anxiety attack was. So, the more I fought and the more I tried to kind of hide and conceal that, yes, Shani, me, I have this anxiety problem, and I do have a tendency to get really, really anxious and worried and have panic attacks even in the past when there is no reason to, right? Just spontaneous. So the more that I am guided to follow this principle about not fighting my feelings, the more it helps, because the more, you feel perhaps bad or guilty about acting a certain way, feeling a certain way, right? It's just going to take you longer to, unhinge yourself, right? And recenter. And the last message for group number 1, guys, is be a professor, experiment, test, and hypothesize. So, maybe you are really in a rut right now, like that first card said. You're stagnant, you're kind of just really unmotivated, and you're feeling like you're not sure what you want to do as far as earning money, or, even moving out of the area, because maybe you're in an expensive area and COVID has just screwed everything up for so many people. So just really be okay with the fact that your next move doesn't have to be your permanent move, is what I want to channel. It's an experiment. It's a test. So don't beat yourself up too. Don't fight your feelings. Don't beat yourself up or be regretful if what you test out, maybe going for a new job or going for an interview because you think you're interested and you get there and it's just not your deal. Don't let that be a setback for you. Don't let that, you know, continue your pattern of being unmotivated. Now is, you know, a beautiful, beautiful time during this full moon. We'll put this away. We'll put this away. And it can have a lot of power. So maybe, you know, maybe it's good to go ahead and test and hypothesize. Okay, guys, if you picked group number 2, here are the messages within this pile, guys, for the full moon on August the 3rd. But the energy is popping now, which is, I think, the 31st of July, and will be, you know, for several days after as well, several days before and after. So group number 2, your first card is the effects of spiritual awakening. So yeah, man, the full moon is going to bring this on even stronger, as you know. If you are feeling, you know, anything, you know, from emotional exhaustion because, you know, you are tapping in and, you know, really have to work on conserving your energy. Maybe you're expending too much to heal or help somebody else. Maybe the effects of spiritual awakening, like that black sheep, isolated type of deal where you're just unveiling to people around you or in your, you know, circle of trust how you feel about certain issues, maybe even in the political arena, or, you know, maybe you're one of those people who are into conspiracies that are not really conspiracies anymore, because at this point anything's possible, right? And you also, you know, I feel may be during this full moon itself, like during this energy right now, being because it's full moon in Aquarius, the humanitarian, the bold statement maker about what they feel is right for them or someone else. So the effects of spiritual awakening could obviously be an ongoing theme, and it's just really, really powerful, heavy, wearing you down, or maybe you are, you know, having to do some really, really uncomfortable work that has to do with like regressive hypnotherapy, something like that. And maybe you had, you know, a whole bunch of downloads or just spiritual, you know, realizations or conclusions that you've drawn. And, you know, at first, some of these things are heavy to take, especially if you were considered to be, I don't know, maybe a traditional person involved in, you know, routine religion, or something that just did not have to do with the path to enlightenment or being able to, you know, touch that part of the universe within yourself and really connect to it, and it's happening to you, and perhaps it's, you know, making you feel uncomfortable, or maybe it's making you feel relieved and enlightened, you know, as you grow. That can happen. You can have either, right? It can be a scary thing, and it can also be, which it is, a beautiful thing to be in the know, right? And to just know that your truth is speaking to you, and your truth is the only one that matters. So guys, for those of you who picked pile number 2, the second card is unique is always better. Be original. So if you are working on anything that has to do with changing careers, or has to do with maybe being a spiritual healer, or someone that is a reader like this, or someone who is looking to go into different holistic, you know, trades, or selling maybe on Etsy, you know, masks that have inspirational messages, something I feel for you, group number 2, is going to be unique and far-fetched. That's that Aquarius again. They always say Aquarius is the oddball, or, you know, the misfit, or the one who is strange, weird, or just off base as far as their opinions, because they're extremely futuristically thinking. They know that right now the present is all just because of programming, that people were sleepwalking. So, you know, if you are inspired during this full moon in Aquarius on August 3rd to put out there an idea or a procedure, or just work with something or a concept, or try something new that is completely like off the wall, that is so not you, if you are compelled to do it really truly, and the only thing holding you back is because you have, you know, been consistent in some certain pattern, try something unique, right? Like this. I've never really done a whole reading on message scrolls, but it's going down, guys. And so the third message for group number 2, Wow. Okay, so do you need to cut the cord from some sort of toxic friendship? People been talking shit, or maybe you really needed a friend to help you with daycare during the COVID, or maybe you really needed a friend to be there and talk about, synchronicities, or you confided in a friend and told them, and you thought this friend was just a ride or die, and you told them about some sort of epiphany or these symptoms or feelings that you're having regarding spiritual awakening and awareness. And they totally, just really not just didn't accept it or talk to you about it. They gave you not even a second of their time. So this card says, fair weather friend, farewell then, right? So it's okay right now. Aquarius is it's an air sign. So full moon in Aquarius, we have that air sign energy of we can put our emotions away in our pocket and we can be abrasive and really detach from that emotional place. So if you need to, right now it's a good time, like really, for the full moon. And last message, guys, for those of you who picked pile number 2. Very deep time to uncover. So do you have any, suppressed emotions? Do you have any feelings for anybody that you've buried deep within you and you have denied it for a long time? And now, right now, it's all about the season of love. The Leo, the lion, we are right smack dab into Leo season, and it's all about loving from an original, authentic place within your heart chakra, and just really, really letting your true feelings show. And it's time to uncover them, if it's for a person or if it is dealing with something like trauma or, again, suppressed pain or emotional, anything emotional, unwellness, or something that is deeply buried, that it's going to take something probably, drastic, maybe looking at old journals, maybe really, really diving back year by year, right? The last, I want to say, 10 years, looking back. It's so important. The astrological cycles, again, have a lot to do with currents, tides, karmic cycles, and just the way that things have been going down. So if there's anything that you need to uncover that's buried within you, right now is the time to do so. That's your message, group number 2. And for group number 3, guys, group number 3, see what messages that we have for you, for those of you who picked group number 3. Number 3, if that means anything to you. I know it means a lot to me. Born in March and just love the number 3. See a lot of 333 and 1111, of course. Wow. Okay. So I had a feeling 3 could be for March. Are you a Pisces like me? You have, just like in The Great Gatsby, right? F. Scott Fitzgerald's line, he says that in the beginning of the book that he was as sensitive as a machine that takes the Richter scale or something like that. So you're feeling incredibly sensitive, deeply sensitive. We just went through a very, very powerful Scorpio moon. A lot of people were commenting on that. So if you have felt this buildup within Leo season to this huge, huge and powerful and somewhat, unpredictable energy about this full moon coming up on August 3rd in Aquarius, I feel like a lot of you, especially those who pick number 3, I would probably pick number 3, being it's my favorite number, are going to be incredibly even more sensitive than you are. I feel like a lot is going to hit you, whether that's in your personal life or you're really diving deep into some sort of, theories about what's going on right now. Maybe you are really being bullied to, get with the program one way or the other. Maybe you're being bullied to, go with the masses because so many people are arguing about, do you wear a mask or not? And, people are getting beat up for not, or, we're getting doctors in front of the White House that are telling us that there's a cure for COVID-19. You could be one of those people who are insensitive, or you can be sensitive. And I feel like if you pick number 3, you are so sensitive. You're just like a seismograph. You can pick up the very, very tiniest of cues. And I feel like it's bothering you or enlightening you in a very peculiar way, I'll say, all of this that's going down, and you're trying to sort it out, and you're just so sensitive to the notion that I feel truly resonates with me, is that there's no time really for argument, guys. We're in a huge dilemma. We're a collective. We need to work together. We need to do what's sensible. And the fact of the matter is, there is a pandemic, there is a virus, there are deaths, there are reasons to follow sensible scientific, method, like wearing masks. There is no cure for it. I wish there was. And this is something that we're all going to have to work together, literally, with love out of our heart space and consideration for other people and sensitivity to other people so that we can get through this. So it's not a political thing or about constitutional rights. It is to me, and namaste, whatever your beliefs are. I do not judge, but I feel like right now this message is for somebody out there. You are very sensitive to all that I just mentioned. And the second message, you're going to see somebody come in to your life as an unlikely hero. So this could be a sum of money. This could be a person who is validating all that you are feeling right now or going through. You could have somebody come in and offer you a job, or perhaps, food or resources that you need at this time. Or you just truly find somebody in a situation on the full moon, which full moons always really bring on the most craziest stranger than fiction experiences. So perhaps you're stuck, or your tire blows out, you're like stuck in the mud, I don't know, you're stuck without a ride, something like you're, really, really stuck as far as stifled and feeling like you are going to be single forever, or that, you're in a bad relationship. I think someone will come in like an unlikely hero would, like some sort of knight in shining armor, and it's not cheesy, but it's like, it wakes you up. It's unlikely because you're not expecting this, savior to come in and really bring relief, no matter what it is, or bring, heroism in some form. Something is going to take a negative, or someone is going to take a negative and put it into a positive for you guys. So if you picked number 3, it's really a good sign. Okay, wow. This is that Janis Joplin song. So for group number 3, this is heavy and emotional, right? So take another little piece of my heart now, baby. Like this song, it says, another little piece of your heart. So perhaps literally you didn't think that you had any more love to give. Maybe you were heartbroken. Maybe you just really are chill and you wanted to be single for a while, and you didn't want to deal with any drama or dilemmas regarding relationships, especially right now when everything's going down, right? Everything is so unpredictable. Perhaps an unlikely hero is someone who's going to take another little piece of your heart. It's a good thing. I feel like Spirit is saying with number 3, like, open your heart, even if it's just a bond, like a soul connection, like a friend that's going to give you some sort of love. We all need that encouragement, and especially at a time right now, so many people are validating what I feel, and I to them, and I really appreciate that. And with everything, this reminds me of my grandpa Greg, who was a Scorpio. If you chose number 3, guys, all we have to do with this situation, as harried and crazy and unpredictable as it is adapt and go with the flow, and really, really improvise, and an emphasis on improvise, flipping the switch, pivoting, turning maybe what people are doing with their small businesses. You used to make hats, maybe turning that into making masks, or something that's going to be helpful and profitable for people at this time, right, with COVID, and overcome. So the key to overcoming obstacles or any kind of drastic tower moment like we're having in 2020, right, and really challenging times where the future is unknown, assets coming in are unknown for some people, we have to adapt. Maybe we never wanted to accept charity. Well, adapt now and be mutable and accept it, right? We need to do different things in order to be a survivor, right? Improvise, pivot any kind of ideas, pivot, your occupation. Maybe right now, the thing you went to school with, or the thing you're trained for, or have been accustomed to doing, or want to do, is out of commish right now. Flip it and improvise, and know that you don't always have to stay in this role, but improvise for the time being so that you can overcome these challenges, guys. So that was group number 3. And for the last group, guys, group number 4. Group number 4. Let's see what your messages are. Group number 4. All right. First card is overthinking. So maybe you are being very, very critical of yourself, or overthinking a project, or overthinking, anything Maybe it is that you really have become agoraphobic from this whole thing, and you're just overthinking, like, oh, I'll go out and take a walk, or I'll go out some other time, or I'll go do this some other time. You're just really, really, I feel like, giving yourself, perhaps, if you picked pile number 4, those catastrophic thoughts for no reason. And I think if this has to do with like the arena of like news, the news media sector, or just watching videos of conspiracy theories, or just really overthinking things rather than just going with the flow, I feel like I really want to extend that message to those of you. Pick number 4. It's sometimes, stinking thinking, right? They call that in, like, I think it's AA or therapy. It's some sort of, whenever you overthink or program yourself to constantly root on something, constantly be obsessive about trying to figure it out, those are the times where we either will rush and put a product together, or just be, not our best. We won't present our best outcome, our best solution, our best, reflections even. We won't even have a time where it is, valuable introspection if we are overthinking it so much, and we don't sit down and relax and gravitate to unwind within our thoughts. Let the thoughts be and accept for what is, right? Instead of just constantly, that's why I have to learn and had to learn. Definitely much better than I used to be, but absolutely was I a definite overthinker. That's caused a lot of my anxiety, right? Having kids and just overthinking, oh gosh, right? But you can have mindful techniques and spiritual practices to help you with that. Okay, can you stand the rain? So you might be having a hard time, group number 4, about this whole climate right now, the world stage, what's going on, things maybe upsetting you that are coming to light, right? All of the things that we've dealt with in 2020 have been so overwhelmingly powerful, including, fighting for Black Lives Matter and standing up for something that has plagued our country for so long. So maybe this all has really made you sad. The rain is representative of tears, and maybe you've been overthinking and just really have to shift and give your mind a break. It's not, don't feel guilty for saying, what, I'm going to think about this. I'm going to reflect about whatever is going on, but I'm going to put that compartmentalized. I'm going to put that away for now, give my permission to bring it up later. And right now, the way that I think you can stand the pressure, stand the rain, these dreary type of times, if they're happening to you, right, is to allow yourself to take time and space to take a break from overthinking or reflecting. Because if you are doing, some deep self-discovery and reflections on, what's going on or how you feel sad about your personal situation, the more that you just are in that awake phase and overthinking, critical thinking, right? The best, answers and solutions and guidance pretty much is going to come to otherwise, when you are able to, get into the void and tap in and kind of daydream into that, staring off into space, not thinking of anything, but your mind kind of controls that. Does that make sense? So guys, for those of you in group number 4, you can stand the rain. I know it's hard. It's like stormy rains, storm clouds up in here. Father time waits for nobody. So perhaps you have really wanted to reach out to people and you are hesitating. This message for you guys in group number 4 is basically one of the only ones in my message scrolls that talks about, the time is ticking. The clock is ticking down for us all, not to be dreary or pessimistic. It's the truth. Father time waits for nobody. So, if you have, especially someone who is an elder mentor, or grandmother, grandfather, somebody, great uncle, aunt, uncle, somebody, even your parents, literally, who are older and you're separated by distance, or maybe because of COVID, it is time right now. Shit is going down. It's realistic. There are many people who are suffering a great loss from this pandemic and just this time right now. So in general, even if the, COVID pandemic wasn't going on, I would say this message is telling you, don't hesitate, contact the person who comes to your mind and heart that you think that you would really, feel sorrow about if you did not contact them and something happened to them, right? All right, guys, and the last one for group number 4 is you made a favorable impression. So somebody out there is crushing on you, or somebody out there is thinking about you in a positive way for an opportunity to work with them, or somebody is definitely thinking that you have handled yourself appropriately in some role. Maybe you're speaking out for human rights. Maybe you're speaking out, for doing things that would help everybody in the community to get over this pandemic. Maybe, you are really working your ass off in the community as an essential worker. Maybe, some sort of nurse or healer, or someone who, is going above and beyond, maybe charitable type of things, getting together donations and working your ass off. It's making a very favorable impression and leaving an imprint on those who are watching you to learn. Maybe your young ones or people around you are really, really admiring you and very impressed with what you are able to put out right now, despite, right, that Prince song, You Can Stand the Rain, and you've been making a very favorable impression, even if it's just on your spirit guides, right, and your higher power guides, and me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very, very unique reading for the full moon in Aquarius on August 3rd. Blessings, love, light, thanks, appreciation, love a million times over, and well wishes for your health, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye now.